Hey everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a come book shopping with me vlog. I'm really excited to do this. I did a come book shopping with me vlog a couple months ago, but you know, it's time for another one. So we will be going book shopping today. We're going to be going to two stores. One of them is a used bookstore. That's my favorite. I'm actually parked outside of it right now. And then we're going to be going to Barnes. That's where we're going to be going. I'm really excited. I'm not looking for any book in particular. I don't anticipate me buying a ton of books, but today's actually my wellness day that my university gives us off school, basically just a random day during the week for us to be able to just like do stuff for our wellness. They're kind of arbitrary, and you know, we have a lot of issues at my school. We're one of the most unhappy schools. We've had a lot of things going on with people's mental health, so they're very arbitrary. But my roommates and I went shopping earlier at like Marshall's, Ross, Five Below, and so I'm now going book shopping. And I actually didn't spend that much at Marshall's or Five Below. That's where I bought stuff. I really didn't spend that much, and so I have a couple $100 I can spend if I really want to, but I probably won't. I probably only spend like $150 maybe, which is still a lot of money on books, but I set aside a lot more money for today than that. So we'll see how much I actually buy. I'm really excited. I've never filmed on here on my camera before, but I'm gonna try. I've never filmed in public with my camera ever at all, actually, but I'm going to ask them if I can film in there with my camera and make sure that I don't film other people. But yeah, I'm really excited, so let's just go inside. So I decided for this video that I would do a voiceover. Normally for my book shopping videos, I don't do voiceovers. I normally just put music. So let me know what you guys prefer. But I saw some people doing this recently, so I decided to do a voiceover. And sorry about the shaky footage. This bookstore is a little tight, so it's kind of hard to film, especially when carrying books and stuff like that. But you guys know the first place I'm going to head is the horror section. I love the horror section. They have a lot of books that I haven't heard of, like this one, but a lot of books that I have heard of that normally I end up coming home with me. I'm not gonna lie. For example, here is Into the Drowning Deep by Myra Grant, which is one of my absolute favorites. It was only there for like $12, I think, and to buy the hardcover new now, it's like $25 on my Amazon wishlist. So I was really happy to find this one. I don't show y'all every single book that I picked up today, but I show you a lot. And they also had this copy of Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca for $20, and this edition is not even being published anymore. And Reluctant Immortals is another one that I have on my TBR, but I already physically own it. But yeah, I don't show y'all all the books that I pick up until the very end of the video where I do my haul. So I would definitely stick around so y'all can see all the books that I picked up. But I'm just searching in the horror section. I also found the September House, which was a little bit more expensive at $15, but I decided to splurge and get it. I know this bookstore so well that I really know like where to go and what sections I like the best. Here is the sci-fi fantasy section, which I don't normally shop in, but I normally take a glance at because it's right in the middle. And they had an absolutely remarkable thing, and The Bear and the Nightingale, which I decided to also pick up. And then I head to this fiction section that they have because it has a lot of amazing picks in it, like this one, Jackal, which I already own and love and read. But they also have a lot of like their traditionally published romances over here, like all of those type of books. They do have another romance section, but those ones are all mass market paperbacks, and most of the romances that I'm interested in aren't in mass market paperbacks. It's mostly like historicals and stuff like that. But here is just the fiction section. I saw this Case and Calendar and I almost picked it up, but I didn't. And I did pick up Homegoing. I was really excited for that one. And then here's more of just like their fiction section. This section isn't as good. I normally go to like that back part that I was showing y'all, but they did have some Toni Morrison books that I really liked. And here's Barnes & Noble. Of course, the shaky footage with me walking, but we are headed there now. And I was really excited to go into Barnes & Noble. I haven't been in this one in years, so I was really excited to go to this one. They had a table with Chain Gang All-Stars on it, which I recently bought, and I am really excited to read that one because that one's like a sci-fi gladiator commentary book. And here is another book I was kind of interested in because of the cover, but I didn't end up getting. And then here they had a buy one get one 50% off mystery thriller table, and it had The Perfect Marriage and Pretty Girls on it, which I both absolutely love and adore. I love these two books so much. But also had, of course, Frida McFadden, and just books like that. They also had a buy one get one 50% off romance table, which had the 7-year slip, which I adore, and a couple other books. Like they had a whole bunch of Kennedy Ryan on this table, which you could see me pointing out because I love Kennedy Ryan, and The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which I also picked up, and I enjoyed The Love Hypothesis as well. Then they also had Butcher and Blackbird, which is one of my faves. I almost bought Birthday Girl, I'm not gonna lie, I almost did, but I decided not to because age gap recently has been starting to like creep me out. I don't know if that's just me, but it has been. And then here's some more like romances that I definitely want to try out, and then here's even more. The romances in bookstores lately have been going crazy. It's popped off because I used to work at a Barnes & Noble and we barely had any romances, and at my Barnes & Noble we were trying to get them to have more indie published romances and they just didn't. So we like tried to convince them. We were like the first wave to try and get more indie published romances and stuff in there. But now I've headed to the horror section. They have Slewfoot, which I love, Mary, which I really enjoyed, Nestlings, which is on my TBR. And I looked over at the manga section, and they also had a buy one get one 50% off fantasy table, which I also really took a part in. Remember when I said I thought I wasn't gonna buy that many books? Yeah, so we're gonna start off with the used bookstore first because that's the first place that I went, and obviously y'all saw the footage. But first I picked up Into the Drowning Deep by Myra Grant. If you don't know, this is one of my favorite books of all time. I love it. It's horror. It's about evil mermaids. And it's very sciencey, scientific. It's almost like sci-fi horror. It's so, so good. If you haven't read this and you want to read about killer mermaids, please pick it up. But obviously I didn't have a physical copy, so I picked one up. And then I saw The September House, and I was like, okay, period. It's only $15, which isn't terrible considering full price is $27. So I was like, let me just get it. I love supporting my little used local indie bookstore because they have such good picks. They were literally selling an Eric LaRocca in there that was $20, and it was the edition that's not getting published anymore. So I was like, y'all could really sell this for like $100, but whatever. Then I've been thinking about actually continuing on in the U series, so I bought Hidden Bodies, which is the second book in the U series. I'm really excited to continue on and be back in Joe's little crazy mind. Then I saw The Bear and the Nightingale in there for very cheap. It was literally only $6, so I decided to get it because this is a fantasy that I heard that is very cozy, and it's literally called the Winter Night Trilogy. It's meant to be read in winter. I probably will not read it this winter. I'll probably read it next winter, but for $6 you literally cannot beat it. Then I picked up this book called Homecoming, and I have another book by this author. I don't want to butcher it. I don't know how to say it. I'll definitely look it up if I talk about it in other videos. But I have another book by this author, I'm pretty sure, and this one just sounded really interesting. It's about two half-sisters that are born in different villages in Ghana in the 18th century, each unaware of each other. One will marry an Englishman and lead a life of comfort in the rooms of the Cape Coast castle. The other will be captured in a raid on her village, imprisoned in the very same castle, and sold into slavery. Like, that sounds crazy. And then I also bought Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows, and this one, the lady, when I was checking out, she read this one and she was like, this is sad, this is funny, and it's extremely affirming. So I was like, okay, I really want to read this one, and it was a Reese's Book Club pick. I know Kayla has talked about this book, so overall I was like, I gotta get it. And then the last two books that I bought are two Toni Morrisons. I bought Beloved and The Bluest Eye. I haven't read either of these, and they're literally classics by a Black author, so I definitely need to get on this, but I picked up both of these. And then Barnes & Noble got me because I never go to this Barnes & Noble. It's much smaller. It is closer to my school, but I normally go to this one in a different city that's like only 15 minutes away. So I normally go over there, and it's right by Trader Joe's. So I go to Trader Joe's, the boba shop's right there, so I normally go there. But because I was already driving all over the place today, I was like, let me just go to the one that's like only 6 minutes away. So I went to this one, and they actually have renovated this one as well. It's very nice. The other one is just a much bigger. For example, they have like at least 5, 6, 7 shelves of horror at this other one, and then at the one that I went to today they only have 2. So it's much smaller, but it is super nice, still renovated and everything, and it doesn't have a cafe or anything in it either, so it's just a lot smaller. But this one, I'm so glad I went there, because normally when I go to Barnes & Noble and I go to the same one, they have like the buy one get one 50% off tables, right? But I've literally been there so many times I own all the books on the table, or I'm not interested in them. So I was like, okay, okay, like I wasn't expecting anything to come of this, but they had not just a thriller mystery buy one get one table, they also had a romance one and a fantasy one, which at the one that I normally go to, they don't normally have those. They normally only have thriller and horror. So I was like, okay, so we're getting a romance table and we're getting a fantasy table, which I don't normally get. So I went crazy. I bought 8 books. I bought 8 books here too. So I bought 16 books today. Ridiculous. But I can't beat a buy one get one deal, especially at Barnes & Noble when they're like the paperbacks, because when you get one 50% off, they're like less than $10. Like they're literally the price that you would get them at the used bookstore. So I was like, I gotta do it. So the first one I got is Killers of a Certain Age, and then I also got another one from that mystery thriller table, and that is The Appeal. This one I haven't heard too much about. I know that it's about I believe these older people that are killing people or involved in a murder mystery, which obviously is becoming a trend. We've seen it with the Thursday Murder Club series, and like there's just been a couple books floating around that are like older people getting involved in murder mysteries. So this one says they spent their lives as the deadliest assassins in the clandestine international organization, but now that they're 60 years old, 4 female friends can't just retire. It's killed or be killed. So they're actually not that old, because my dad, he's like 61. He just turned 61 and he's not that old. So, and it says older women often feel invisible, but sometimes that's their secret weapon. Period. We love that. I just think that this sounds really cute, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Thursday Murder Club, but I do want to continue on in the series. And then The Appeal, I literally don't know what this is about, but my friend Haley really likes this one. I know that it's told in mixed media format, but it's like emails and stuff like that, so it's still like long pages of text, but there is some like text messages and shorter pieces in here, but most of it is told through emails. It says 1 murder, 15 suspects, a wholly original puzzle. It's about a local theater group or something like that, and yeah, that's all that I know about it. But Haley talks about this book constantly, at least when we are talking. She just always brings it up. So I picked it up because I saw it, buy one, get one 50% off. Then, of course, the romance table drew me in. A lot of them I had already, or I wasn't interested in. But I saw The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches there, which I read and really, really enjoyed. So I wanted to pick up a physical copy of it. And then I also got Daisy Hates, because I really enjoyed Magnolia Parks. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't like I was obsessed with it, or it was like my new personality book like it was for a lot of people, but I still really enjoyed it. And I've heard that a lot of people like Daisy Hates' plotline more than Magnolia Parks, so I picked this one up. They also had the new cover of Magnolia Parks there, but I have the old covers. I know that people are like ordering them from like the UK or something to get the old covers. That's just a lot of work. I'm not doing all that. We're just gonna have mismatched covers, okay? And then surprisingly, the last 4 books I got were from the fantasy table, period. I know, right? She's turning into a fantasy girl. Fantasy girl. So I got Bookshops and Bone Dust, which is the sequel, or actually the prequel to Legends and Lattes, and I just really want to read this one because Legends and Lattes is so like fun and cute. I think I gave it 4 stars. I really like that one. And then I got That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, because one, this is a black author who literally wrote a fantasy romance. I just had to support this author, and I'm actually supposed to be reading this one this month. I was going to be reading it for a romantic reading vlog that's not coming to fruition anymore, but because this is Black History Month, and because I'm participating in a lot of different readathons that are for black authors and black books, this one was on the TBR. So yeah, and I love this new cover. It had an older cover, but then I think maybe, yeah, it got picked up traditionally, so it got a new cover, which I love. It's so stunning. I also know that Riley Marie really loves this book, and I am influenced by her, of course. And then the last 2 books that I got are honestly ones that are like kind of wild cards. I don't know if I'm gonna like these, but they're like TikTok hyped books, and one of them I've been seeing the lifestyle girlies read a lot, and that one is One Dark Window. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this, like the lifestyle girlies. It just says this girl needs a monster, and the monster might be her. I don't know. It says a maiden must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom in this dark, lush, gothic fantasy debut. I didn't know this was gothic fantasy, which I'm really excited to get more into. But the last book I picked up was The Foxglove King. This is a fantasy romance, and it says, in this gilded, gothic, and darkly romantic new epic fantasy series, a young woman's secret power to raise the dead plunges her into the dangerous world of the sainted king's royal court. That's all that I really want to know about it. She's a little thick and floppy, and she's like bigger than a normal paperback, like taller. If you can't see that, it's a little bit taller. I just realized that all 3 of these books are all published from Orbit, but it's really weird that they made Foxglove King so much bigger and have deckled edges, but none of the other books are that size or have deckled edges. That's just a little strange. But those are all the 16 books that I bought today. A little excessive, but it's okay. It was my wellness day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end, leave the little shopping bag emojis down below for this shopping adventure, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, everybody. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me.